Well, the death of an Eastern Cape pupil who allegedly took her life after being bullied has angered traditional healers. It's alleged teachers and her peers called her a witch for having an ancestral calling. Healers are reportedly calling for the removal of those involved. Here to discuss the misnomers of an ancestral calling and how to integrate tradition into our school system is Chief Mwelo Nonkonyane. He's the Eastern Cape's Congress of Traditional Leaders of South Africa, chairperson. Chief Nonkonyane, thank you so much for joining us. I was saying to my co-anchor Annika Larson how the idea of a calling to become a traditional healer still largely understood even with adults, and with teenagers it must be harder. So how do we address the issue of a calling in young people?
Good morning, and good morning to your viewers as well. Thank you for having me. First of all, we are also angered and actually disappointed. Quite clearly means, therefore, that the transformation in our education system is far from even beginning, because every child and must be understood. And clearly, if the child is having this gift of having a connection with our ancestors, that is a special child to us. Hence, we are so hurt. And we are of the view, therefore, that the governing bodies in schools, which we have been complaining for many years now with our government, that to take away traditional leaders from being part of that system is problematic, because it means, therefore, that the westernized norms and values are actually being promoted at the expense of the African norms and values. And certainly, we have lost a leader of tomorrow. We have really lost a scientist, as far as we are concerned as Africans.
How do you then drive this transformation that you say is lagging behind?
First of all, we said that the Constitution must be amended to restore powers and functions to the institution of traditional leadership. And again, we and the schools, we have been actually engaging ever since Kata Asmat was the minister, that this must be addressed, because it's not only this one. The issue of the initiation of girls to womanhood as well as boys to manhood is part of what is actually affecting us in school. Hence, therefore, we have no choice but to continue to engage the government. And as I'm speaking to you now, in the course of this week, we're meeting as national leaders to see and find a way of even approaching the court now, so that our traditional communities' rights are actually respected and protected in schools as well.
While you're fighting that fight, Chief Nonkonyane, there'll be young people who have the gift of the calling. What's your message to them on how to process this gift and how to change perceptions amongst their peers and at the school?
We are appealing to everyone to understand each and every child, because we belong to different traditions. We are saying South Africa is a rainbow nation, acknowledging that we are actually united in our diversity. And we're calling upon even the peers to understand, even the teachers, because teachers are actually in local parentis. There are parents there. And again, even the STVs must also represent our traditional communities, so that the children, like the one that has passed on, are protected, and even their gifts is promoted. Hence, we wanted also to send traditional healers to be part of the government's school system, as well as elderly people, so that we can really help our people, because we're talking of equality of these cultures, but we could see that ever since the advent of democracy, our culture is being suppressed at the expense of the so-called Bill of Rights.
Well, Chief Nonkonyane, thank you so much for your time. A lot of work, like you say, still needs to be done. Chief Mwelo Nonkonyane from Contrelesa.